Joining us now are two of our own, two Defence Force personnel, who will be marching beside Her Majesty's coffin at tomorrow's funeral. Head of Corps Brigadier Mick Garraway and Deputy Head of Corps Lieutenant Colonel Elizabeth Anderson from the Nursing Corps. Well, what an honour. Well, what an honour for Australia that we will see our uniforms there processing tomorrow. What a wonderful honour to you, Elizabeth. The George Medal that was awarded to the NHS here after the years of COVID reflects not just the NHS and nursing service here in Britain, but I think that's a message right around the world to what nurses in particular and doctors too did during COVID. You must be chuffed to be here.
Yes, it's been an incredible honour to be here. I was proud to be selected to come over and pay my respects and be part of the service. Humbling, to say the least, to be here representing the Corps for our Colonel-in-Chief, the first and only Colonel-in-Chief that the Royal Australian Nursing Corps has had.
And Mick, we obviously know that rehearsal is part of everything at moments like this. What has gone into what will be happening tomorrow?
Look, the plans that the Household Division had in place, Op Bridges as it was called, was very, very detailed, and it's been detailed for many years. And they've had similar plans for different members of the royal family, and that would include which regiments, in our cases corps, would be involved. For us, clearly our Colonel-in-Chief was Her late Majesty. So as Liz said, it's an enormous privilege for us to come across and be involved in a historic event.
She's not just a figurehead, the Queen, to the Australian military. There's a long, deep connection with various members of the royal family and the Australian military. And I think if you wear the uniform in Australia, you understand that very deeply. What's this mean, Elizabeth, to all the servicemen and women and their families home in Australia, do you think, to see you both here?
That we can represent them. I think they'd be honoured and proud of us representing them. Being invited over here to take part in the procession is an honourable commitment that we're willing to undertake, and very proud.
When you found out that it was going to be you, I'll ask you both. Who was the first person that you called, and what did they say?
In my case, I'd been on the list, if you like. I'd been on notice to come over for some time, and I told my wife about 2 years ago that in the event of Her Majesty passing, that I'd be on a plane at pretty short notice. So my family members knew, but and in a professional sense, many of my colleagues knew that by virtue of my appointment, I'd be required to go. But other than that, I kept it under my hat.
Yeah. No pressure, only a couple of billion people watching.
After my husband, actually, I was still asleep, and my husband called me, so he was the first person I spoke to about it, and his thoughts was, well, that'll change the family dynamics for a little while. He was very proud to be able to say that his wife would be participating. And then I also called my dad, who was chuffed in himself to be able to see that we'll be here supporting the efforts and being part of the procession. Very proud moment.
Awesome.
Brigadier, when we've been watching the crowds behind us and we've been watching the procession and the practice go on, I don't think Australians probably understand that a lot of these military with the bearskin hats and the beautiful dress uniforms are actually front-line serving troops. We spoke to some that had come back from overseas theatres of war to be part of this service.
Well, I had the good fortune a couple of years ago with serving with one of the Guards regiments, and they take their ceremonial duties very, very seriously. Every guard mount is considered for them to be an operation. So they plan these events down to the finest detail, and their standards of professionalism and their approach to ceremonial duties is of the highest standard. But as you say, at the same time, they also have a fighting role as well. So, you know, when I served with them, we were very much focused on our warfighting role. But when I was there was when the Queen Mother died, and a significant portion of the battalion came home from Germany back here to the UK to participate in her funeral. So, you know, they're just, the Household Division is a really professional organisation.
We hear the word service a lot. You guys are the embodiment of service for Australia. So I want to ask you to expand on what service means to you, and what service, as an example, did the Queen give to you?
Service to me, I have only ever known military nursing and military service. It's being there for others who need it when they can't get it themselves. And I saw that in the Queen a lot. She was always there for others, and that she dedicated her whole life to it. And that as a nurse was a powerful part for me.
Yeah, and I think there's no better example of that than seeing the Prince and Princess of Wales visit our troops out at Pirbright the day before yesterday in a busy week where they've got a lot on, and when they're mourning the loss of a very significant figure in their lives, they took the time out of their schedule to come visit us. So I couldn't think of a better example.
Well, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for what you're going to do tomorrow. We'll be proud to watch every single step, and your families will be obviously enthralled at everything you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good on you guys, and thank you for your service as always, and most important.